The 5th Nihility Dreams Tempest Trials is out now, and Big Boss Ginnungagap has revealed their class type and weapon. She's a colorless cavalry dagger unit and does appear to be our arcane dagger wielder. I want to briefly talk about it in case you want to start planning any fun builds for your thieves, assassins, or ninjas. To no surprise, this is a slaying weapon. If above 25% HP, you get plus 5 stats, inflict stat debuffs, make a guaranteed follow-up attack, and you get bread type cooldown reduction. The debuff portion is foe penalty doubler, but it does also count any debuffs on nearby foes. This makes it more like the sabotage status. Daggers have innate -7 defense and res debuffs, so that's great, but if you want to use it before the first round of combat, then you're going to need some outside debuff support. For the other units, fairly standard stuff. Free follow-up attack makes Arcane Void usable by any dagger unit, slow or fast. Fast units can use it to cancel a follow-up denial, although offensive follow-up is still preferred. What is liked by all dagger units though is that sweet sling plus bread type cooldown effect. Like Ginnungagap in the Tempest Trials, this weapon does a nice job setting up lethality. The recooldown to start charges in 2 actions. For infantry units, times pulse means lethality charges in 1 action, which can open up things like desperation or triangle attack for instant 2-tap specials. Other class types can do the same with cooldown support from guys like Lord Asker. In general, for the Cavs and Flyers though, bread type cooldown is incredibly valuable and everyone enjoys a free follow-up attack. For our first arcane dagger, very safe generalist option. Personally, I am going to try and get 1 arcane void for myself. I want to give it to Calm. He already has lethality and times pulse in his pockets, so I'm pretty happy with this weapon. Unfortunately, not too many free-to-play daggers have been released in recent times. Patty is basically it, but she is by far the best offensive option, so if you like her, then Arcane Void will do just fine on her. Let me know your plans for the Arcane Void Dagger. Ginnungagap probably releases next banner, although nothing is set in stone just yet. Gotta assume she's gonna have lethality since both our arcane bows came with Deadeye. Let's now talk about our Tempest rewards. As usual, score the maximum 50,000 points for 42 orbs, 11,000 feathers, and 80 secret coins. This month we got Ephemeral 11 divine codes and 1 astral blessing from Mythic Veil. Sacred Seals are attack and defense ideal and speed and defense oath. The item reward unit is Ninja Saizo. You can get a 4-star and 5-star copy. We'll talk about Saizo and his amazing outfit later on. This month's Sacred Seals are okay, no big surprises. Attack and defense ideal 3 grants plus 5 attack and defense if you're full HP or if you have an active bonus. There is no extra stats for having both. Ideal skills are for infantry and armor units. They are nice if you want stats for either phase and you don't want to care about positioning. The only downside is taking any damage knocks out 1 condition, so it's ideal to instead have field buffs or statuses on the user. For example, armors with assault troop or armor march have a +1 movement buff. Ideal sacred seals are decent if you have extra coins. Next up is Speed and Defense Oath 3. At start of turn, if unit is next to an ally, grant +5 speed and defense to the unit for 1 turn. Usable by infantry and flyers. Tier 3 oaths are a little harder to use than their Tier 4 upgrades, but they can be fine if you really need field buffs. Unfortunately, the Sacred Seal slot has in-combat stat boosting skills there, which stack with anything. Generally, the C slot is where the field buff related options go, including Speed and Defense Oath. If you did want full field buffs though, we have a lot of support units who grant attack and res buffs, such as Veil. Personally, I haven't really upgraded any of the Oath seals. We only have 2 Tempest Trials Sacred Seal rewards, but back in the day, we used to get 3. To fill in the missing hole, I do want to have a spot to talk about the current updates, new Squad Assault Sacred Seals, because these are now legitimately good options. If you do the 76th Squad Assault, you can get the Squad Ace BX seal. When upgraded, it grants +5 HP and +3 flat defense and res. While there are higher defense and res boosting seals, this one comes with +5 HP. With %DR being everywhere nowadays, higher HP does get some extra value. We even have some % max HP healing skills too. You can use these Squad Ace seals for flat stat boosting as well. Compared to Stillwater, for example, you will get 2 less flat res and 5 less attack. You trade that for 8 more defense and 5 more HP. A good bit of extra bulk if your flat res is high enough as is. If you don't feel the Tempest Circuit seals are that amazing, I do think the newer Squad Ace seals are worth upgrading.
They couldn't find any other ninja to teach them our ways. Really? Do you think I wear a blade on my arm because I like to be touched?
Saizo is our ninja representative for the banners theme. You have to admit, the free-to-play ninjas have had some amazing designs, and Saizo decided to go for the full Dreadfighter outfit. He's an Lance Infantry unit with 37 HP, 41 attack, 45 speed, 45 defense, and 25 res. Saizo has a res super boon if you want to try balance out his stats, but as a ninja unit, that attack boon will be juicy. 45 base speed is pretty amazing, and I believe that's enough to tie for second highest in the class. For context, Saizo has a better offensive spread than Flame Tribe Lin. Now, his 45 base defense also incredibly high, but his base HP is on the lower side for a melee unit, and his res also takes a hit. It's not completely terrible, but combined with the lower base HP, Saizo definitely will struggle to tank those magic hits. If you want to build a free-to-play unit, Saizo is only our second heroic Grail Lance Infantry option. He is only the 5th addition to the class that is not a 5-star unit. Just not a lot of spearmen in the series. For his weapon, Saizo has the Kumo Naginata Plus. This is a 9-white Brave Lance with built-in 2-range warping. If the foe has more than 75% HP, you get an extra plus for all stats. Same effect as Reina's inheritable bow. This is our 3rd Ninja Brave Lance. It is by far the best one, and it's the only one you don't have to summon for, although we got some ephemeras for the other two. Compared to Ninja Yari, the weapon grants the same plus for speed, with plus for to all other stats instead of penalizing defense and res. You also get warping. Ninja Naginata Plus, meanwhile, has the 4 true damage if you outspeed, but if you don't need true damage or you don't care, then plus 4 attack is the same deal generally. Kumo Naginata is a good weapon. You don't lose any stats, you gain plus 4 instead, on top of having regular warping to get into extra attack range. While Kumo Naginata is great, Saizo's base kit's a little weird. Defense Smoke is fine for Devos if you can attack again. Attacking Defense Solo 3 is nice to see, but if you use the warp from the weapon, then you get no stats. As for the Growing Flame special, if AoE specials knock an enemy under 75% health, then you're not going to get the plus 4 stats from the weapon. Slight dyssynergies here, although it's fine for budget builds. This is the first time attacking even solo 3s on a free-to-play unit, so if you want more of that, then Saizo is your guy. Before we move on, I want to showcase something that you may not see with Saizo's base kit. For whatever reason, Saizo has a unique animation when he activates his special in combat. It's awesome.
I never miss.
This is on par with the unique killing animations legendary and mythic heroes get. There are some unique animations out there on other non-special units like Zephiel, but I don't remember anything as flashy as this one. If you do decide to build up Saizo, the initial nature is going to give him plus 1 HP, attack, and speed. That's fine, but if you want to use his brave weapon, then the attack super boon will be ideal. You could go for bonus res, but if you want a magic damage or just more balanced defender, then there may be a better choice. The free-to-play competition for Lance Infantry is just sad. We had 3 units in year 1 being Obero, Lucas, and Dono, Donnie being a trainee. A couple years ago, we got our first new addition and first heroic option with Summer Norn, who is pretty solid. Norn is the jack of all trades balanced option if you wanted a faster unit. Saizo has higher attack, speed, and way more defense, but Norn has 8 more HP and 5 more res. If you want a generalist lance fighter with, say, a distant counter setup, then Norn may be better for fighting a stray mage or dragon. Saizo is the physical damage, speedy brawler. That being said, his base HP is pretty low. Now, honorary armor unit, Lucas has great defense and max investment and way more HP. He's going to get doubled a lot more though. Regardless, if you just care about offensive stats for, say, a brave weapon, then Ninja Saizo is excellent, a lot of quad potential, and you can take some physical damage hits. Because there are so few free-to-play lance fighters, here's some 5-star units just to see how Saizo stacks up in general. He is definitely part of what I would call the Halberdier or Sentinel archetype, at least for Fae. There are some fast lancers with more balanced stat spreads like Flame Lin, but the high speed and defense focused stat spread has been around since like Nephany. Her max stat line is less min-max now due to how Dragonflyers work. Now, the 3 Lance Dimitris are all around the same spot, but Legendary Dimitri just got his remix and refined. The most recent example of this type of unit is Timera. You can see Ninja Saizo is pretty much right there with her, plus 2 res instead of extra speed and defense. For basic budget builds, Saizo can play around his brave weapon. Very simple player phase initiator role, and it depends on if you just want to invest in speed. Since Saizo's defense is so high at base, you could swap over to all attack and speed boosting skills. If you want to force quad attacks, no follow-up or breaker skills can push through follow-up denial. With just the Kumo Naginata, Saizo almost hits 50 speed, so he can easily quad anyone not investing in it. The only issue is surviving counterattacks. Dragons may be a threat, and if brave hits do not kill, you're giving extra special charges to enemies, and even guard may not stop a slaying bonfire counter. If Saizo is on low HP, you could run Desperation to quad all at one time, or you can run Wind or Water Sweep plus no follow-up as a seal. You are going to lose out on stats, but ignoring counterattacks with a quad attack potential is pretty annoying. For extra stats, you could run a self-buffing skill in the C slot. Ults are fine, or Rouse if you're going to go for the full solo stacking. For some other skills, Hit and Run is a classic for makeshift Kanto, and you can get a quick Moonbow proc with Flashing Blade. Bonfire or Luna are fine if you don't have extra cooldown. For premium skills, we've gotten a lot of strong skills that can work with brave weapons. For full initiations, a physical no follow can offer quad potential with 50% DR piercing on every hit. In the future, a tempo 4 with defense debuffs could be nice for no guard. For more expensive hit and run, close call does the same thing and you get dodge DR, a little more survivability, and another way to get DR is with Gambit 4. If you do run 4 or 5 cooldown specials, your brave hits get 10 or 15 true damage, and if you quad, then obviously that adds up. You then get a sizable amount of damage reduction. Another damage enhancer can be Hexblade for adaptive damage. We got menace buffs and debuffs, low speed and defense, and I would say Oath 4, but the Kumo-Naginata already has warping. Flashing Blade or Flash Sparrow can help you get things like Gale Force, but that's going to be on a 5 cooldown. To use our brave attacks though, you can also run Assault Troop or Odd and Even Tempest for 3 movement. Now, for the first time since our arcane weapons have been available, we have a Lance Infantry unit without a unique weapon. Let's put it this way, the only Lance fighters since rearmed heroes were a thing was Halloween Tamara last month. Now, the builds are not that different from any other Arcane Infantry builds, but Saizo's fine copying. Arcane Lewin is literally made for speed. Similar to Arcane Devourer, it has no follow-up if you outspeed with Exort specials and +5 stats. It is much more damage oriented with true damage on hit equal to 20% speed and low speed and defense. To make up for the lack of defenses, Vital Astra pre-charged with Time's Pulse activates its dodge DR. You can add a dodge 4 B skill too. I would prefer Velocity 4 whenever that comes out. Now the usual final pairing is Attack and Speed Finish 4 for even more true damage and healing. Insert distant counter at your own risk, especially when units like Sanaki are out there nuking stuff into the ground. While I think it would be a damn shame not to watch Saizo zoom around with a special, Godlike Reflexes is a fine choice if you want to go a defensive route. If you wanted more cooldown, the Arcane Chiong has Omni Breaker with Breath type cooldown. That may be easier for Godlike Reflexes or just other high cooldown specials like Gale Force and Aether. For some non-brave weapon inheritables, Upfront Lance and Rain Lance focuses on speed, Unbound has low attack and defense when solo, Hare's Lance has 40% DR for 1 hit. There are some other seasonal ones like Springy Lance or Piercing Tribute as well. That will be it for this month's Tempest Trials. We got a sneak peek at the Arcane Dagger, which I assume will come later this month. Ginnungagap should also be rearmed if you want to use her. For the Sacred Seals this month, nothing super crazy. Second Defense Ideal is alright to upgrade, and I do honestly suggest getting those Squad Assault Seals as well. As for Ninja Saizo, literally the second Heroic Grail Lance Infantry unit and the 5th non-5-star option since launch. Very rare class type on the free-to-play side, decent stats if you like speed, and infantry have a million build options. If you wanted a brave attacker, Kumo-Naginata is top-notch, and there are a lot of other good skills that can complement it now. Last note, the devs really like Saizo because not only is his art great, but he has a very flashy, unique special animation. Always appreciate the extra mile for aesthetics. Now, let me know your thoughts on everything we covered today. Have fun with Saizo, and he's really tempting me to build him even though I don't have too many blue free-to-play projects. Thank you for watching, go get those rewards, and see you in the next video.